Okay, so this part 7b73, line 22, isotropic interactions formula, 5G Wow Seti. There's the alien radio signal. This is spin magnetic particle interactions formula in the Wow data. So it continues from this line of data, 7b72, magnetized proton pulses UFO. Hartmann Hahn quotes from wiki are solid-state nuclear magnetic resonance, solid-state NMR, SSNMR spectroscopy is a type of nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy characterized by the presence of anisotropic, directionally dependent interactions. The introduction: basic steps. Its concepts: a spin interact with a magnetic or an electric field. Spatial proximity and or chemical bond between two atoms can give rise to interactions between nuclei. In general, these interactions are orientation dependent in media with no or little mobility. Example would be crystal powders, large membrane vesicles, molecular aggregates. Isotropic interactions have a substantial influence on the behavior of a system of nuclear spins. In contrast, in a classical liquid state NMR experiment, Brownian motion leads to an averaging of anisotropic interactions. In such cases, these interactions can be neglected on the timescale of the NMR experiment. Examples of anisotropic nuclear interactions: two directionally dependent interactions commonly found in solid-state NMR are the chemical shift anisotropy CSA and the internuclear dipolar coupling. Many more such interactions exist, such as the anisotropic J coupling in NMR or in related fields such as G tensor. In electron spin resonance, in mathematical terms, all these interactions can be described using the same formalism. Experimental background: anisotropic interactions modify the nuclear spin energy levels and hence the resonance frequency of all sites in the molecule and often contribute to a line broadening effect in NMR spectra. However, there is a range of situations when their presence can either not be avoided or is even particularly desired, as they encode structural parameters such as orientation information on the molecule of interest. High-resolution conditions in solids in a wider sense can be established using magic angle spinning, macroscopic sample orientation combinations of both of these techniques, enhancement of mobility by highly viscous sample conditions and variety of radio frequency RF irradiation patterns. While the latter allows decoupling of interactions in spin space, the other facilitate averaging of interactions in real space. In addition, line broadening effects from microscopic inhomogeneities can be reduced by appropriate methods of sample preparation. Under decoupling conditions, isotropic interactions can report on the local structure by the isotropic chemical shift. In addition, decoupled interactions can be selectively reintroduced, recoupling, and used, for example, for controlled dephasing or transfer of polarization to derive a number of structural parameters. June 16, 2013. Today's July the 7th. So the spin interact magnetic electric field Higgs boson signal from CERN, June 2012, chemical bond, two atoms rise interactions. Oh, hold on, sorry. This is formula from data. Sorry. Two atoms rise interactions between nuclei, neutrinos, four split fermions, leptons, Higgs boson particle with mass, Higgs boson signals, and laser beams. Crystals, mesh lattice, ribbon electron beams, interactions, collisions, graphite, crystal, magnetic, wafers, obsidian, mirrors, diffraction, I put deflection, should be deflection of laser beams, supposed to be diffraction, but it's okay. Crystals, powders, large membrane vesicles, carbon nanotubes, vacuum, molecular aggregates. Quote from wiki: Google aggregates to find out what it means. Aggregates, composite in materials science, a component of a composite material used to resist compressive stress. So the formula continues. Bendable metal resists compressive stress from pressure in outer space add dark matter particles. Anisotropic. Interactions influence behavior, system, nuclear spins. Speed of light, nuclear reaction, domino effect, neutrino colliding particles in fuel systems. Contrast, classical liquid state NMR experiment, Brownian motion, collision of nuclear reactions created by neutrinos, mixing with Higgs boson mass particles. Fuel mixes with liquid argon gas. Formulas found in well data lines 17 to 22. Google Brownian motion, quote from wiki. Random moving of particles suspended in a fluid or a liquid or a gas, resulting from their bombardment by the fast-moving atoms or molecules in the gas or liquid. The formula continues. Averaging anisotropic interactions, timescale NMR experiments, anisotropic nuclear, two directionally dependent interactions, Higgs boson signal minus neutrinos, plus proton separate signals, plus solid state NMR equals chemical shift anisotropy, CSA, cross-reference with wild data. Internuclear dipolar coupling, Googled, quote wiki, magnetic dipole-dipole interaction, quote wiki. Magnetic dipole-dipole interaction, also called dipolar coupling, refers to the direct interaction between two magnetic dipoles. The potential energy of the interaction is as follows. This is the calculation here. H equals all that. Where EJK is a unit vector parallel to the line joining the centers of the two dipoles, RJK is the distance between two dipoles, MK and MJ. For two interacting nuclear spins, this is the calculations, where that calculation is the magnetic constant, and then it has these symbols here. Looks like a YJ, YK. Our gyromatic ratios of two spins, and RJK is the distance between the two spins. Force between the two magnetic dipoles, where R is the unit vector pointing from magnetic moment. MA to MB, and R is the distance between those magnetic dipole moments. So then the formula continues. Magnetic dipole-dipole interaction, dipole coupling, interaction between two monopole dipoles plus four quadrupole, I spelled that wrong, quadrupole magnets plus magnetic dipoles, potential energy plus E is vector parallel, line joining centers two dipoles, R distance between two dipoles, MK and MJ, add two interacting nuclear spins, neutrinos spin, plus split for 4 fermions, plus leptons, plus 5 axial forces. Oh, that's not supposed to be a 5, it's supposed to be this way. 5 axial forces from new standard model particles found in the well data. Lines 17 to 22 cross-reference. I listed 5. There's 5 new standard model boson particles for you. They're in the previous data. You have to look for them. Just when you go into the channel, just Google, like on the YouTube channel itself, Idea Girl Says. If you go into the search box and put in new standard model boson or new standard model particles, it should bring up the videos. If not, go to Google itself and do that, and it should bring it up for you. Add unit vector, spin, hyperbole, space of UFO core levitating from its magnetic moment. My thoughts. The moment the particle becomes magnetized is when you invert and diffract all the electron pencil ribbon laser beams using obsidian mirrors that create electron holes in the crystalline graphite wafers, formed into a mesh lattice with the fluoroscopy beam going up the middle of the structure and creating a loop tabitron ring with proton energy recycling your fuels and electricity fuels to generate engine power and electricity within the UFO spaceship. Formula continues. Interactions, anisotropic J coupling and NMR, related fields, Higgs boson signals, Messenger effects, G tensor plus electron spin resonance, quote from wiki, electron paramagnetic resonance, EPR, or electron spin resonance spectroscopy is a technique for studying materials with unpaired electrons. The basic concepts of EPR are analogous to those of nuclear magnetic resonance, NMR, but it is electron spins that are excited instead of the spins of atomic nuclei. Because most stable molecules have all their electrons paired, the EPR technique is less widely used than NMR. However, this limitation also means the EPR offers great specificity. Since ordinary chemical solvents and matrices do not give rise to EPR spectra. Formula continues. Unpaired electrons, NMR electron spins, supposed to be capital N, equals electron spins plus excited spins, atomic nuclei, stable molecules, W1 and Z1 bosons. I don't know if it's plus or minus. Not sure. Electron holes paired, EPR techniques, chemical solvents, matrices, no rise value 0, plus EPR spectra. Isotropic interactions modify nuclear spin energy, levels, resonance frequency, all molecules, line broadening effects, NMR spectra range, encode structural parameters, add to bendable metals formulas in the WOW data line 17 to 22, cross-reference line 27. Orientation, molecule interest, encode structural parameters. See in next set of videos. Google the keywords leads to particle swarm optimization. High resolution solids, magic angle spinning. These formulas, just so you know, there's at least 20 videos of them, of all the formulas. It just all came together all at once. So that's what's, I had to divide them out. You can see how long this is, 12 minutes, right? High resolution solids, magic, angle spinning, mass. Google keyword mass in another video. We gotta change that to capital MAS so you know what I'm talking about. Combinations, both techniques, enhancement, mobility, radio frequency, irradiation patterns. Then we have decoupling, interaction, spin space, hyperbole, averaging interactions, real space, dark matter particles, line broadening effects, microscopic inhomogeneities, reduced appropriate methods, sample preparation. Decoupling conditions, isotropic interactions, report, local structure, isotropic chemical shift, decoupled interactions selectively equals reintroduced recoupling. My thoughts: you take the neutrino particles with mass and add them to the new Higgs boson particles in the new standard, 5 of them in the new standard model found in line in WOW in formulas WOW videos, WOW data, sorry, to give them mass using the Higgs boson signal data from CERN June 2012 results. Atlas CML combined with Alice and Athena data. So there's data there that you need to combine together in regards to adding mass to a Higgs boson signal. And I show you the formulas in previous videos. Probably in line 22 you'll find them. I did a whole section actually called Higgs boson mass particles. So if you Google that, it'll bring it up. For higher range signal strength, to modify the particles and add mass to 0 spin. Formula continues. Recoupling. I don't know why that's... No. Controlled and then dephasing, transfer, polarization. Add photons to give particles mass from 0 spin. Add number structural parameters. So the keyword to Google is controlled dephasing, and it's going to be in another video. Thank you for watching. And yes, they are going to be long.